Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma confident of BJP clean sweep in Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls. Says win in council elections vitals ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Pradyut Dev Burma led Tripura Motha likely to contest in Tripura by polls. By polls can be a warm-up for assembly elections, says Dev Burma. Division within Meghalaya BJP comes to the fore. Cabinet Minister and party MLA Sanbor Shulai takes exception to statements made by state party leadership on possible pulling out of ruling coalition. And amid targeted killings in Kashmir, NSA Ajit Doval calls on Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Hello and welcome to Evening Prime. I'm Priyadarshini Medhi and we start the bulletin with a big story we have been tracking this afternoon. Well, Northeast Democratic Alliance convener and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is holding a crucial meet with members of the core committee on Naga political issue at Chimukidima. Well, as per inputs, the meeting, which started shortly after 6 p.m., is still on. The crucial meet comes at a time when the core committee, in its last meeting with the NSCNIM, pressed for the active involvement of Sharma in the Naga peace process. The Assam Chief Minister, however, has already clarified that he is in no way involved in the peace talks. Speaking to media persons in Guwahati yesterday, Sharma stated that he will not interfere in the Naga peace talks unless specifically asked to meet certain leadership to clarify on any issue. However, despite this, there is a lot of buzz around the meet. Well, the core committee delegation is led by Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio, along with Chairman of Nagaland's opposition-less ruling coalition, or UDA, TR Zilaya. Well, the meeting continue for an hour more since, as per inputs, the NEHU convener will halt for the night in Dimapur. So, viewers, big story we are tracking this evening. Well, NEHU convener and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is holding a very crucial meet with members of the core committee on Naga political issue at Chimukidima. And as per inputs that we are getting in at this point in time, well, the meeting, which started shortly after 6 p.m., is still on. The crucial meet comes at a time when the core committee, in its last meeting with the NSCNIM, pressed for the active involvement of Sharma in the Naga peace process. The Assam Chief Minister, however, has clarified that he is in no way involved in the peace talks. Speaking to the media persons in Guwahati yesterday, Sharma stated that he will not interfere in the Naga peace talks unless specifically asked to meet a certain leadership to clarify on any issue. However, despite this, there is a lot of buzz around the meet. And to know more about the meeting, I'm being joined live with my colleague Sarah Konyak, who is right there in Chimukidima. So, Sarah, what is the latest update and when did the meet start and how long is it expected to last, Sarah?
Yes, Priya, the meeting between the core committee members and the NEHU convener, Assam Chief Minister, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, started a while back, half an hour back to be precise. The meeting, as we have learned, it's a closed door meeting. A very tight security has also been arranged in the meeting venue, where nobody is being allowed to enter even the gate. So as with all this, we can assume that how crucial this meeting, how crucial and significant this meeting is going to be, as the core committee, who had a meeting with the NEC and IM last Saturday, that is 28th of May in Chimukidima, have discussed in that 4-hour long meeting. They have, the NSA and IM have expressed that they would like the support of the Assam Chief Minister, the NEDA convener, to play a role in the Indo-Naga political peace process that is ongoing right now. And as we have all witnessed the latest statement that has been issued by the NEC and IM, the compromise formula which the state, which the elected members as facilitators have been pursuing with the government of India have actually not materialized, have not proved to be futile, as the NEC and IM on the 31st of National Emergency Assembly meeting have reiterated their stand that they will not accept anything less than the flag and the constitution in the final solution. So talks, when there was a ray of hope that talks are coming back on the track, with the rejection of the NSA and IM to the government of India's offer on the flag and constitution, it seems that the talks have come back to a stalemate again. And efforts have been made by the core committee. They are making all efforts to mediate and to bring both the government of India and the NSA and IM to an understanding, especially on the symbolic issues. However, that has not however, it has not yielded positive results as of now. And going by all these things, the Assam, the NEDA convener, who has been roped in earlier by the center to act as a mediator between for the government of India as well as for the NEC and IM, the core committee have once again sought his support to try and break the deadlock so that there can be a clear roadmap for the final solution to be arrived at the earliest. So as of now, we cannot say anything. We are not getting any reports of what is actually being discussed in the closed door meeting. But Priya, we will only have to wait and watch for the outcome of the meeting as of now.
Right. Sarah, the meet between the core committee and the NEDA convener Himanta Biswa Sharma comes at a crucial juncture. The core committee had in its last meeting with NSC and IM indicated that it may seek Sharma's active involvement in peace talks. So what are your sources saying? Is the core committee likely to request Himanta Biswa Sharma for active involvement?
Well, yes, absolutely, Priya. Like I have mentioned earlier, the Assam Chief Minister earlier as well, he has participated in the Naga peace process under the directive of the central leadership, and also going by the fact that the stakeholders here and the people have here in the state of Nagaland have expressed they have different opinions over the core committee seeking the support of the Assam CM in the peace process. However, there are people who have expressed their full hope and faith on the leadership of the Assam Chief Minister, who is also being seen to have a very good relationship with the center, especially with the Prime Minister, and also going by with all the efforts that he has made to bring the Bodo Accord or the Karbi peace accord. Going by all these developments, the core committee have once again sought for the support of the Assam CM. So there is every possibility that the core committee, the delegation which is being led by the Chief Minister himself, may request the NEDA convener to play an active role, as things are not sailing smoothly, especially after the NSA and IM have reiterated its stand that they will not accept anything less than the flag and the constitution in the final solution. So definitely all eyes are on this meeting as of now, and there has been indications that the core committee will be needing the support of the NEDA convener in this peace talk to try and break the deadlock, and also to bring both the NSA and IM and the government of India to a meeting point.
All right, Sarah Konyak, thank you so much for all those details. And time for a very short break now. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Baby, এইটো লো নে এইটো
5th জুনত মিছৰ চেল আছে নহয় তেন্তে এইটো আৰু এইটো লৈ লোৱা
মিছৰ মহা ইণ্ডিয়ান সেভিং সেল 5th জুনত
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ সিমেন্ট সূৰ্য সিমেন্ট Surya Cement, অটুট ঘৰ, অটুট অসম।
আনন্দৰ উৎসৱ বিহু আহিছে ঘৰে ঘৰে আহাৰৰ সোৱাদ জাগিছে এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ wishes you a happy বিহু
Himalaya Purified Neem Face Wash. Expert কেনেকৈ?
এইটো ক্লিনিক্যালি প্রুভেন হয় যে ইয়াৰ আছে নিম আৰু হালধিৰ এন্টিব্যাকটেৰিয়েল গুণ যি পিম্পল আঁতৰ কৰে আৰু স্কিন কৰি তোলে একেবাৰে হেলদি।
বাহ
Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash, pimple free healthy skin or expert.
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live and moving on to a big story from Meghalaya now. Well, a massive protest erupted at the NEHU campus in Shillong, with students demanding immediate fulfillment of their demands, which include filling up of all existing vacancies, appointment of a pro-VC, hostel facilities for students, upgrade of libraries, among others. The protest was organized by the NEHU Students' Union, which has been raising these issues for some time now. Well, in a memorandum addressed to the Vice Chancellor, the Students' Union highlighted several issues and demanded a resolution at the earliest. The memorandum further stated that in order to uplift the position of the Northeastern Hill University, the most significant matter is to adhere to the problems, needs, and requirements faced by the students. While talking to the media, Ms. Dakar, President NEHU Students Union, echoed the grievances mentioned in the statement and demanded immediate fulfillment of the said issues.
He knows about the thing. The reason of this protest is because the administration of NEHU did not adhere to the problems which we have placed before them. The demands from the new student union are to fill up the vacancy posts, which notification have already been released regarding this. The second demand from the NEHU is that regarding the solution with the transport. And we have the third issue is the hostels issue, where a lot of students, they have to live in a hostel where conditions are not improper and unhygienic. We have the Wi-Fi issues. We also demand regarding the medicine in the health center of NEHU. The health center of NEHU is not functioning for 24/7, and our ambulance services are not working. So that's all for the issues, important issues which we demand from our Vice Chancellor and from the NEHU administration. And there are so many other issues which are already placed in the memorandum, and we hope that everyone goes through. He have given us the assurance regarding the important issues like the Wi-Fi, transport, maintenance, and the water in the hostels of NEHU. So we are quite happy regarding those issues, and we demand from him that he should solve the other issues also, not only this one issue which he has issued us. It's very shameful. I myself I feel ashamed that we have to come here, we have to skip our classes. Some students they have to skip their tests just to demand for these issues.
Dakar also talked about the existing state of affairs of the hostels and highlighted its sorry plight.
The condition in the NEHU hostels are so unhealthy. The contractor I don't know who is the contractor before. Okay, the planning was so messed up that they built a toilet on top and a kitchen below. When this toilet, obviously after 40 years or more, they will be they need to be maintained, and if they are not maintained, they will be messed up. And there will be leakage of pipe and all. And all this leakage of pipe, it goes to the kitchen. and it's very, very unhygienic. And if you happen to go to the hostels of NEHU, you will see that toilets, water itself is red in color.
And on to Assam now. Well, the BJP is bent on achieving a clean sweep in the ensuing Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, which is being seen by the party as a crucial contest ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Well, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, Chief of Bureau Arundam Das on the sidelines of an election rally at Dhansari, BJP star campaigner and Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that the Saffron Party is confident of a clean sweep and that there is no opponent to the party in the KAAC areas.
We are joined in by Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, who is on a campaigning trail in Karbi Anglong. Well, you have been on a marathon campaigning in Karbi Anglong for the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council elections. So, how is the mood?
I think we are sweeping. I mean, there is no competition here.
So how big is this election for you?
I mean, for us, every election is very, very important. Karbi Anglong has 4 assembly constituency. So winning here will send a big message before election, before Lok Sabha election.
So, is this a prestige fight for you?
No, I think I take every election very seriously.
With what issues you are going ahead?
Right, Karbi Anglong has seen unprecedented development during last 5 years. So this will be reaffirm our commitment.
So, who is going to be your main opponent in this election?
There is no opponent.
Thank you very much. That was Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma talking exclusively to Northeast Live, who is on a campaigning trail in Karbi Anglong for the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council elections. Reporting from Karbi Anglong, this is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
It may be mentioned that the election for the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council has been transformed into a high-profile battle with Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma campaigning round the clock, chalking out week-long intense tour of the districts. As many as 163 candidates are in fray for the 26 seats up for grabs in the KAAC election, for which will be held on June 8. Over 6 lakh people will exercise their franchise in the 2 districts of Karbi Anglong and West Karbi Anglong, along with the Bokajan subdivision. The BJP, which has been on a winning spree in the state, is yet again aiming for a clean sweep, with Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma addressing multiple rallies each day. Today, Chief Minister Sharma attended as many as 4 election rallies in Karbi Anglong. During his rallies, Chief Minister Sharma put forth the development pitch before the people.
ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ কোনো ৰাজ্যতে কোনো জিলাতে এখন জিলাত আজি ভেটেনাৰী এগ্ৰিকালচাৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং ফৰেষ্ট ট্ৰেইনিং কলেজ ষ্টেট ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি চেণ্ট্ৰেল ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিৰ কেম্পাছ ইমান ডাঙৰ কাম কৰ্মযোগ্য কেতিয়াও হোৱা নাছিল আৰু কেতিয়াও বা যে কোনোবা জিলাত হ'ব তাক মই সন্দেহ কৰোঁ সৰুতে ডিফুলৈকে আহিছিলো কলেজত পঢ়োতে তেতিয়া কাৰ্বি আলং আছিল অসমৰ আটাইতকৈ পিছপৰা জিলা আৰু আজি হ'ল কাৰ্বি আলং অসমৰ আটাইতকৈ আগবঢ়া জিলা আটাইতকৈ উন্নত জিলা আজিৰ পৰা 10-15 বছৰ আগত কাৰ্বি আলঙত কি আছিল সদায় বন্ধ ধৰ্ণা আন্দোলন আমাৰ মাসকল ডেকা ল'ৰাসকল ৰাস্তাতে আছিল যে আজি বোলে আন্দোলন কৰিব লাগে কালি বোলে ধৰ্ণা কালি বোলে ধৰ্মঘট এতিয়া আমাৰ মাসকলে আমাৰ বাইদেউসকলে আন্দোলন কৰিব নালাগে ল'ৰাক স্কুলত পঠাব লাগে আমাৰ মাজত সেলফ হেল্প গ্ৰুপ কৰিব লাগে ভাল কৰি পঢ়িব লাগে টকা নিদিয়াকৈ চাকৰি পাব লাগে এইটো হৈছে আজিকালি আমাৰ নতুন কাৰ্বি আলং
Meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma has said another minister would be inducted into the cabinet on June 9th. Noteworthy here is that the Assam Chief Minister said here that the new minister would be an MLA belonging from the hill districts of Karbi Anglong or Dima Hasao. Currently, there are 5 MLAs hailing from the hill districts in the Assam cabinet. One of them will end up being inducted in the state cabinet.
8 পৰা 9 তাৰিখে আপোনালোকে অসম মন্ত্ৰীসভাৰ নতুন মন্ত্ৰী দেখা পাব
অহা এই মাহৰ 9 তাৰিখে পাহাৰৰ পৰা কোনোবা এজনে নতুন মন্ত্ৰী সভাত শপত ল'ব মহিলাও হৈ যাব পাৰে মই নাজানো কোন হ'ব কিন্তু এগৰাকীয়ে শপত ল'ব
And onto the big story from Tripura now. Well, the Tripura Motha is likely to contest in upcoming by-election in the state. Tripura Chief Pradyut Dev Barma said a final decision on the issue will be taken by tomorrow following a party meet. Dev Barma added that since the Tripura Motha is largely focused on contesting the 2023 assembly election in Tripura, so this election should be considered as a warm-up for the party.
त्रिपुरा मोथा का मीटिंग है आज और कल और हम लोग बैठकर तब डिसाइड करेंगे कि हमें क्योंकि ये जो अनाउंस किया गया है वो एसटी सीट्स नहीं है लेकिन ये जनरल है और एससी भी है तभी भी हम लोग विचार करके देखेंगे कि हम लोग को लड़ना चाहिए कि नहीं लेकिन जहाँ तक मेरा पर्सनल चॉइस है मुझे लगता है कि हमें एक दो जगह से अपने आप को तैयारी करना चाहिए 2023 में अगर फाइट करना है तो 2022 में भी हमें फाइट करने के लिए रेडी रहना चाहिए
And shifting focus now. After raging floods and landslides left a trail of destruction in Assam's Dima Hasao district, local residents are now finding new and unique ways to return to a life of normalcy. Well, the Narsingwari LP school in Dima Hasao's Thaijuwari, which sustained heavy damages due to the devastating floods, has now decided to temporarily hold classes in a nearby baiko or open space, keeping in mind the greater interest of the students. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, CRCC Manjit Langtasa said that much of the school was heavily damaged in the recent floods. However, with the help of some locals, a few pieces of furniture were served. It may be mentioned here that the entire Thaijuwari area of Dima Hasao, about 70 kilometers from Haflong, has been battered by the recent spate of floods and landslides. Our colleague Swadip Hassan Saab brings us this exclusive report. Take a look.
इन दिनों बारिश के कारण डिमा हासो में बहुत सारा जगह में भूस्खलन हुआ है, फ्लड हुआ है। तो आज हम बात करने वाले हैं थाइजुआरी इलाका का, जो लंका हाफलोंग रोड में आपको अगर आते हैं तो थाइजुआरी एक गांव मिलता है। तो थाइजुआरी एक ऐसा जगह है जहां रिसेंटली यहाँ पे भूस्खलन नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन फ्लड से बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट हुआ है कि इन फ्लड की वजह से लोगों को कितना तकलीफें हुआ, कौन सा ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होने लगा। खास करके आपको मेरी स्क्रीन ठीक मेरे पीछे स्क्रीन पर आप देख रहा होगा, ये एक थाइजुआरी का स्कूल का एक स्टूडेंट लोग है। ये एक बाइको है जहाँ एक ओपन स्पेस डांसिंग हॉल हम बोल सकते हैं, वहाँ पे टीचर ने एक स्कूल लगाया क्योंकि इन लोगों का जो बच्चे लोगों का जो है स्कूल जो है बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट हुआ है। स्कूल का जो फ्लड में ज्यादा इफेक्ट हुआ है। और कब हुआ था और कैसे कैसे हुआ था?
16 को हुआ था, 16 में। तो लगभग हम लोग तो खबर मिला कि दियांगी में बहुत बड़ा फ्लड आ रहा है, लेकिन हम लोग को यहाँ पहुँचते पहुँचते रात 7:30-8 बज गया था। तो उसमें हम लोग तो स्कूल का कितना तो फर्नीचर गांव के लिए निकाला। इस वजह से हम लोग का स्कूल का सारा जितना रजिस्टर फाइल जितना भी है सब डूब गया। 2-3 दिन के बाद में पानी सूखने के बाद में हम लोग स्कूल तो सफा किया। साफ करने में सारा मिला है कि एक भी ऐसा चीज नहीं है जो कि अच्छा है, सब बर्बाद हो गया। जैसे तैसे ये ब्लैक हम लोग का ग्रीन बोर्ड है, टेबल चेयर है, सब बसाया।
में देखा था कि काउंसिल की तरफ से ऑटोनमस काउंसिल ने बताया कि ये जो स्कूल इफेक्टेड हुआ है उसको स्कूल क्लोज करने के लिए बोला, लेकिन आपने यहाँ पे पढ़ाने का निर्णय कैसे
पिछली बार लॉकडाउन में 2 साल तो हम लोग का बच्चा चला गया, ऐसे भी बच्चा थोड़ा वीक है सब बच्चा। फिर हम फ्लड का वजह से बच्चा को ऐसे रख देगा तो बच्चा तो और कमजोर हो जाएगा पढ़ाई में। इसलिए हमने निर्णय लिया कि ठीक है, यहाँ पे तो बाइको तो खाली है, तो हम लोग स्कूल तो जो हुआ स्कूल को छोड़ देगा, लेकिन हम बाइको में लेके बच्चा लोग को टीचिंग करेगा। ऐसा करके हमने निर्णय लिया। गाँव पूरा गार्जियन सबसे बात करके अगर हम बाइको में क्लास करने से कैसे होगा, बोला आप लोग सकने से ठीक है। जैसे लोग भी हमको परमिशन दिया, तो इसलिए हम अपना स्टाफ को लेकर के यहाँ पर स्कूल फिर से स्टार्ट किया।
And time for another short break. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
সন্মানীয় ৰাইজ, আপোনালোকে নিশ্চয় জানে
কেন্দ্ৰীয় চৰকাৰৰ এক ৰাষ্ট্ৰ এক ৰেচন কাৰ্ড আঁচনি ৰূপায়ণৰ লক্ষ্যৰে অসম চৰকাৰে ইতিমধ্যে বিভিন্ন পদক্ষেপ গ্ৰহণ কৰিছে। সুলভ মূল্যৰ সামগ্ৰী যোগানৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত যাতে হিতাধিকাৰীসকল প্ৰকৃততে উপকৃত হয়, সেই উদ্দেশ্য আগত ৰাখি ৰাজ্য চৰকাৰে এই ব্যৱস্থাৱলী হাতত লৈছে আৰু 2022 চনৰ 1 মে'ৰ পৰা কাৰ্যকৰী হোৱাকৈ ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় খাদ্য নিৰাপত্তা আইনৰ আওতাত প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী গৰীব কল্যাণ অন্ন যোজনাৰ অধীনত দৰিদ্ৰ সীমাৰেখাৰ তলত বাস কৰা লোকসকললৈ সুচাৰুৰূপে চাউল বিতৰণৰ ব্যৱস্থা লৈছে। ভাৰত চৰকাৰৰ দ্বাৰা প্ৰদান কৰা আধাৰযুক্ত ৰেচন কাৰ্ডৰ বিপৰীতেহে হিতাধিকাৰীসকলে প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী গৰীব কল্যাণ অন্ন যোজনাৰ অধীনত এই সুবিধা লাভ কৰিব পাৰিব। আধাৰ কাৰ্ডৰ গুৰুত্ব ইমানেই যে এটা পৰিয়ালৰ 10 জন সদস্যৰ 5 জনেহে যদি ৰেচন কাৰ্ডৰ সৈতে আধাৰ সংলগ্ন কৰে আৰু বাকী 5 জনে যদি আধাৰ কাৰ্ডৰ সৈতে ৰেচন কাৰ্ডখন সংলগ্ন নকৰে, তেন্তে সেই পৰিয়ালৰ কেৱল মাত্ৰ আধাৰ সংলগ্ন কৰা 5 জন সদস্যইহে সুলভ মূল্যৰ চাউল লাভ কৰিব। হিতাধিকাৰীসকলৰ সুবিধাৰ্থে ৰাজ্যৰ বিভিন্ন স্থানত বিশেষ আধাৰ সংলগ্নকৰণ শিবিৰ অনুষ্ঠিত হৈ আছে। প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী গৰীব কল্যাণ অন্ন যোজনাৰ অধীনত দৰিদ্ৰ সীমাৰেখাৰ তলত বাস কৰা লোকসকলে যাতে সুচাৰুৰূপে চাউল লাভ কৰে, তাৰ বাবে পৰিবহণকাৰী আৰু সুলভ মূল্যৰ দোকানীসকলক প্ৰাপ্যৰ ধন নিয়মীয়াকৈ আদায় দিয়াৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰা হৈছে। ইয়াৰ সমান্তৰালকৈ ৰাজ্যৰ 33,257খন সুলভ মূল্যৰ দোকানত ই-পছ ডিভাইচ স্থাপন কৰা হৈছে। সুলভ মূল্যৰ দোকানীসকলে এই ই-পছ ডিভাইচ ব্যৱহাৰৰ জৰিয়তে সুলভ মূল্যৰ সামগ্ৰী গ্ৰাহকক যোগান ধৰিব। ইয়াৰ পৰিপ্ৰেক্ষিতত কোনো সুলভ মূল্যৰ দোকানীয়ে কোনো হিতাধিকাৰীক নিৰ্ধাৰিত নিৰিখতকৈ কম চাউল দিব নোৱাৰিব। যিসকল সুলভ মূল্যৰ দোকানীয়ে এই ডিভাইচ ব্যৱহাৰ নকৰে, তেওঁলোকৰ অনুজ্ঞাপত্ৰও সোনকালে বাতিল কৰা হ'ব। শ্ৰদ্ধাৰ ৰাইজ, আপোনালোকৰ সহযোগিতাইহে প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী গৰীব কল্যাণ অন্ন যোজনাক 100% সফল ৰূপায়ণ সুনিশ্চিত কৰিব পাৰে। আহক এই ক্ষেত্ৰত আমি আটায়ে একেলগে আগবাঢ়ো। ধন্যবাদ।
ये लो बेटा, तुम्हारा नया टीवी।
थैंक यू।
और अम्मा, राम राम। घर में और कौन कौन है?
मैं, तेरे दादा, बेटा, बहू, पोती और मोती जी।
माने पीएम नरेंद्र मोदी रिश्तेदार है अम्मा।
देख, मोदी जी ने तेरे दादाजी का ऑपरेशन करवाया, घर में पानी, बिजली, गैस, टॉयलेट सब लगवाया। नहीं समझा? इधर आ। देख बेटा, जो परिवार का होता है उसका घर में नहीं दिल में रहना जरूरी होता है।
दुख दर्द क्या होते हैं उनको बहुत निकट से अनुभव किया है, और वही अनुभव है जिसको लेकर के आज एक परिवार के सदस्य के रूप में काम कर रहा है।
सही है अम्मा, मोदी जी मेरा परिवार है।
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live, and now before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. NEHU convener Himanta Biswa Sharma holding crucial meet with members of core committee on Naga political issue in Dimapur. Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio leads core committee delegation. Massive protests erupts at NEHU Shillong. Hundreds march to VC's office. Press for immediate fulfillment of multiple demands. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma confident of BJP clean sweep in Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls. Says win in council elections vitals ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. Pradyut Debarma-led Tripura Motha likely to contest in Tripura by polls. By polls can be a warm-up for assembly elections, says Debarma. Division within Meghalaya BJP comes to the fore. Cabinet Minister and party MLA Sanbor Shalai takes exception to statements made by state party leadership on possible pulling out of ruling coalition. And amid targeted killings in Kashmir, NSA Ajit Doval calls on Union Home Minister Amit Shah. And on to Meghalaya now. Is the BJP a divided house in Meghalaya? Well, Cabinet Minister and BJP legislator Sanbor Shalai today took exception to the statements made by the state BJP leadership without taking him into consideration. He said that he is unaware of the statements made by the state BJP leaders whether to pull out from the coalition or not.
Just recently, we had a state executive committee of the BJP. So, giving a statement like this at the individual, it doesn't mean that we are having a faction. This is mere press statement, but whether it's a fact or not, when I spoke to the president this morning after reading this newspaper, he said, "I have not given anything." Our president said, "I have not given any statement ever published in the newspaper. It's all a fabricated statement." He said, "I did not give anything."
While admitting last that the few Karyakartas did talk about pulling out support during the state executive meet, he however said that the decision entirely lies with the centre. The minister made it clear that he is a dedicated party man, and if a situation arises where the central leadership asks to pull out from the government, he will comply.
Day one, it is our central leader who have called us, me and Bahek, to sign the letter of support to the MDE government. So accordingly, we have done it based on the directive of the party high command, including the in-charge Nalin Koliji. So now also, if that sort of directive is coming from center, if they said you resign or pull down, we have to comply with the directive of the party.
Shalai also made an appeal to his fellow colleagues and the party president to take him into consideration and only make press statements after the consent of all full-fledged members of the state BJP.
I appeal to all my colleagues in the BJP to refrain from giving all these individual statements. Any statement, it should come from the full-fledged members of the state BJP. If you have to give any press statement against the BJP or against the MDA government without my knowledge, I will not entertain, I will not allow.
And now on to the big story from Arunachal Pradesh. Well, locals in Arunachal Pradesh's Mechuka have appealed to the Indian Air Force and the government to acquire their land for setting up a high-altitude firing range. The Air Force has been trying to acquire land in Mechuka of Shiyomi district, which borders China. Locals have now called upon the Air Force and government to acquire land for setting up the high-altitude firing range instead of repeatedly going for yearly and short-term lease agreements. It might be mentioned that in order to enhance its striking capability, the Air Force has been conducting high-altitude firing practice in the Beponyarung Hills in Shiyomi district for the last few years. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Life, Baiti Pusang, owner of around 1,200 hectares of land in the region, said that the locals are not opposed to the Air Force acquiring their land, but are only apprehensive that the move may affect the ecology in the area. Well, Pusang further said that because the Air Force has been conducting high-altitude firing for the last 3 years, they have been finding it difficult to go to the hills for collecting herbs and medicinal plants. He further said that since the extension of the lease agreement expired on May 31st, they want the government to acquire their land so that Air Force can conduct their drills without any hassles. So viewers, now let's listen into the telephonic conversation that Baiti Pusang had with our colleague Bripunjay Das.
आप लोग ये मेचुका के पास जो आप लोग का इलाका है जहां में इंडियन एयरफोर्स का जो प्रैक्टिस चल रहा है बॉम्बिंग का, उसके बारे
जी
में
जी।
आप लोग वहां में गांव वाले आप लोग ऑपोजिशन कर रहा है, क्यों कर रहा है?
नहीं सर, हम लोग ये अपोज नहीं कर रहे हैं। ये एक्चुअली हम लोग को जो पहले फर्स्ट जो एग्रीमेंट हुआ था, लीज एग्रीमेंट, जो 15/10/2020 को जो एग्रीमेंट हुआ था, वो करते वक्त जो है कि ये इंडियन एयरफोर्स पार्टी ने बोला कि एक्विजिशन जल्दी कर लेगा, उसका बाद जो कंपनसेशन है उसको रिलीज किया जाएगा। लेकिन उसके बाद भी फिर ये जो हम लोग क्लेम करने आया कि ये कंपनसेशन क्यों नहीं दे रहा है, एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, ये पूछने आया था। फिर उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, अभी प्रॉब्लम है, ये गवर्नमेंट का पेमेंट ही नहीं कर पा रहा है। तो फिर उन लोगों ने बोला ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ अरुणाचल गवर्नर के जरिए, हिज एक्सलेंसी गवर्नर के जरिए हम लोग को फिर लीज एक्सटेंशन करने के लिए बोला। फिर वो सेकेंड एक्सटेंशन को भी, लीज को भी हम लोग एग्री किया और ये मेच्योर होने तक, एक्सपायरी होने तक हम लोगों ने रुका। फिर अभी फिलहाल जो है कि हम लोग फिर ये स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को आफ्टर ये सेकेंड जो लीज एग्रीमेंट ये मेच्योर होने का बाद हमने जाके पूछताछ किया, ये एग्जैक्टली क्यों ये रुक रहा है, एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट नहीं हो रहा है, ये पूछने गया। तो फिर रिपीटेडली अभी जो है कि फिर एक्सटेंशन करने का बात कर रहा है, लीज को बढ़ाने का। तो हम लोग ये चाहते हैं कि लीज ना बढ़ाए और ये जो हमारा जो एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस होना था वो एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस को कर देना, ठीक है, वही है हमारा रिक्वेस्ट।
तो एक्चुअली बेसिक इश्यू है आप लोग का जो माने इंडियन एयरफोर्स द्वारा वो लीज एग्रीमेंट कर रहा है बार बार, लेकिन एक्विजिशन नहीं कर रहा है जमीन को ना।
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट ही नहीं हो रहा है, फिर ये लीज पे लीज होते जा रहा है। तो अगर लीज का तहत हमारा वो जो ये जमीन जो है कि बर्बाद हो रहा है, अभी फिलहाल 3 इयर्स हो गया सर, ये ऑलमोस्ट 3 इयर्स हो गया हम लोग वहाँ ना जा पा रहा है, ना उसमें जो है कि कुछ ये अपना हर्बल्स जो मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स हम लोग कलेक्ट करता था वो हम लोग नहीं कलेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमारा ये लाइफलाइन वही है एक ये बस्ती में जो रहने वाला के लिए।
अब आपने जैसे कहा कि हर्बल मेडिसिन कलेक्ट करते हैं, तो वहाँ बॉम्बिंग की वजह से इकोलॉजी या फ्लोरा एंड फोना के ऊपर किस तरीके का इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है या हो रहा है? मतलब
ये इम्पैक्ट तो उतना नहीं है, लेकिन ये है कि लाइफ का थोड़ा डर है वहाँ जाने के लिए, लाइफ का थोड़ा डर है, क्योंकि वहाँ ऑलमोस्ट एरिया को जो कि उन लोग एक्विजिशन करेगा बोल के जो कि प्रोसेस उन लोग ऑलरेडी बता चुका है और ये फिगर आउट भी कर दिया, इतना ये 1200 हेक्टेयर्स का कुछ ये प्रपोजल है वो बता चुका है। फिर उस एरिया में पेरीमीटर में जाकर ये हर्बल कलेक्ट करना ये सब जो कि थोड़ा मुश्किल हो गया, इसलिए जो कि हम लोग जा ही नहीं पा रहे सर।
तो इसके बारे में एक्चुअली आप लोग अभी गवर्नमेंट से क्या अपील है? मतलब
सर हम लोग गवर्नमेंट से ये एक्सपेक्टेशन करते हैं कि हमारा ये जो लैंड को अगर गवर्नमेंट यूज कर रहे हैं तो लीज बोल के जो है कि हम लोगों को एग्रीमेंट नहीं करके बेटर है कि हम लोग का ये एक्विजिशन प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करके जो हमको कंपेंसेट करना चाहिए वो कंपेंसेट कर देने से ठीक है, वही अपील है सर मेरा।
Earlier, reports were doing the rounds that the Indian Air Force is facing opposition from the locals in Mechuka in setting up a high-altitude firing range. The matter even saw Mechuka MLA Pasang Dorji meet Arunachal Pradesh Governor B.D. Mishra in a bid to find a solution. However, now with the latest statement by the local from Mechuka exclusively to Northeast Live, the matter appears rather clearer. And on to Sikkim now. Ganesh Rai, leader of Reform Call, has condemned the notification issued by the state government restricting government employees from holding any executive post in organizations or associations. Rai has termed it as an effort similar to one made by the previous government to restrict the involvement of any government employees, which had to be withdrawn soon after issuing it. Rai stated that non-governmental organizations or associations play a pivotal role in a holistic development of the society. Here he said that every citizen of this country has basic rights to participate and further the growth and strengthen our society irrespective of the occupation they are involved in. Rai also said that in a state like Sikkim, where the state government is the biggest employer, the impact of this rule would be felt more strongly as this would not allow people to be a part of the well being of the community.
This is quite surprising decision from this government because similar kind of effort was made by previous government also. Then SKM party was the main opposition party which had opposed that decision. Later on, that decision was withdrawn. Non-governmental organization plays a pivotal role in the development of the society, and every citizen of this country has the right to participate in any organization and further growth and strengthen the society. Sikkim government is the biggest employer, and the impact of this decision would be felt more strongly because government employees have played a very vital role in the development of the state, and their restriction in involvement in the non-governmental organization would be detrimental to the cause of the development of the state. So we demand that government should withdraw this decision. Rather, government should look at the option of banning politically affiliated person to be member of any non-governmental organization because his or her association with the organization would add political color or bias to that organization. So we demand that government should withdraw this decision in the better interest of the state.
And time for a short break now. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
বা এইটো লওঁ নে এইটো 15 মিছৰ চেল আছে নহয় তেন্তে এইটো এইটো আৰু এইটো লৈ ল
মিছৰ মহা ইণ্ডিয়ান সেভিং সেল 5th জুনত
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট সূৰ্যা চিমেণ্ট সূৰ্যা চিমেণ্ট অটুট ঘৰ অটুট অসম
Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash. NEHU expert কেনেকৈ
এইটো ক্লিনিক্যালি প্রুভেন হয় যে ইয়াৰ আছে নিম আৰু হালধিৰ এন্টিব্যাকটেৰিয়েল গুণ যি পিম্পল আঁতৰ কৰে আৰু স্কিন কৰি তোলে একেবাৰে হেলদি
বাহ
হিমালয়া পিউৰিফাইং নিম ফেচ ৱাশ পিম্পল ফ্ৰী হেলদি স্কিনৰ এক্সপাৰ্ট
আনন্দৰ উৎসৱ বিহু আহিছে ঘৰে ঘৰে আহাৰৰ সোৱাদ জাগিছে এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ উইশেছ ইউ এ হেপী বিহু এভৰিডে স্পাইচ
And on to top national focus now. Well, playback singer Krishna Kumar Kunnat, better known as his stage name KK, was cremated in the presence of his family and close friends from the film fraternity. The cremation of the popular singer was conducted at Mumbai's Versova Hindu crematorium at around 2 p.m., just a kilometer away from his home at Park Plaza apartment. The singer, just 53, died in Kolkata on Tuesday night shortly after a performance at the concert, leaving the industry and his fans in a state of shock. An ambulance adorned with flowers and a picture of KK carried the singer's body to the crematorium. Well, the last rites were performed by KK's son, Nakul, who looked inconsolable. Well, the 53-year-old singer's filmmaker friend Vishal Bhardwaj with his wife Rekha, filmmaker Ashok Pandit, Javed Akhtar, Shankar Mahadevan, Udit Narayan, Abhijit Bhattacharya, and others attended the funeral. Musicians like Shreya Ghoshal, Salim Merchant, Alka Yagnik, Rahul Vaidya, Javed Ali, Papon, Shantanu Moitra, and Sudesh Bhosle paid their tribute to the singer at his residence. On Wednesday, the West Bengal government gave a gun salute to honor the singer. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee paid floral tributes to him. KK, regarded as one of the top singers, had not taken a formal training in music but emerged as one of the most popular singers of the late 90s and 2000s. Well, right after his debut with Gulzar directed 1996 film Machis, KK is mostly regarded for his work in Hindi, but he also sang memorable film tracks in other languages like Tamil, Telugu, and Bengali. He has lent his voice to actors such as Shah Rukh Khan, Imran Hashmi, Salman Khan, Hrithik Roshan, R. Madhavan, Vivek Oberoi, and Ranbir Kapoor, among others. Moving on now. Well, there seems to be no end to the hate killings in Jammu and Kashmir. Yet another shocker, a bank manager was shot dead today by terrorists in the Kulgam district of Jammu and Kashmir. The deceased banker, identified as Vijay Kumar, hailed from Rajasthan and had joined the Ilakwe Dehati Bank in Kulgam nearly 4 days ago. This latest incident of violence comes amidst a spate of attacks on non-locals reported from the valley in the last several weeks. This is the second civilian attack within a week, and earlier this week, a school teacher was shot dead by terrorists. Late Vijay Kumar received grievous gunshots injuries in this terror incident. Meanwhile, people belonging to the Kashmiri Hindu community have organized a massive protest in Jammu. The community is demanding security for members of their community in the wake of repeated terror attacks on non-locals and particularly the Kashmiri Hindu community.
हमें होम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाए और बाद में जब पीसफुल हो जाएगा देख लेंगे अगर गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी बनाएगी हमें जहां लाने की ट्रांसफर पॉलिसी में हमें रखेंगे हम जॉब करेंगे तब तक हम कश्मीर में नहीं जाएंगे जब तक हमारी इस इमीडिएट डिमांड को मानेंगे नहीं।
टीचर किसी का गलत नहीं करता है, बच्चों को सही रास्ता दिखाता है। तो हमने अपनी जिंदगी के 15 साल वहाँ पे दे दिया। अब हमारे माँ बाप बूढ़े हो चुके हैं, बच्चे बेटियां हमारे हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि हमें सरकार से हमारी रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमें वापस ट्रांसफर किया जाए अपने अपने होम डिस्ट्रिक्ट।
Meanwhile, in view of the series of attacks on Hindus in Kashmir, Union Home Minister Amit Shah today chaired a high-level meeting with NSA Ajit Doval to discuss and review the security situation in the valley. The meeting between Shah and Doval lasted for over an hour. The Union Home Minister will meet Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant General Manoj Sinha tomorrow with other security officials including RAW Chief Samant Goel. Well, tomorrow's meeting will focus on taking a proper review of the security scenario in the Kashmir Valley. Terrorists have stepped up attack on Hindus in the valley. Well, since May 1st, 8 people have been killed, including 3 cops and 5 civilians. Jammu and Kashmir BJP President Ravinder Raina has said that recent targeted killings in Valley is conspiracy by Pakistan to create fear and sabotage the centre's efforts to restore peace and normalcy in Union territory. And meanwhile, following the killings of Hindus, many have threatened to shift from the valley to safer places in Jammu. And moving on now. Well, a Congress interim president, Sonia Gandhi, has tested COVID positive just a day after she was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in the National Herald case, along with her son and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. Well, this was informed by Congress leader Randeep Singh Surjewala, who said that Sonia is exhibiting mild symptoms and has isolated herself. Well, the ED had asked Sonia Gandhi to appear before the agency on June 8th. However, given the latest development, it seems unlikely the veteran Congress leader would be able to appear before the ED.
Congress President Srimati Sonia Gandhi has been meeting a number of leaders and political activists over last 1 week. Some of them were later found to be COVID positive. As on yesterday evening, Congress President Srimati Sonia Gandhi developed mild fever and some symptoms. On testing today, Srimati Sonia Gandhi has been found to be COVID positive. Lots of Congress friends, workers, leaders, and other well-wishers have expressed concern. I want to say, Congress President Sonia Ji has isolated herself. Requisite medical attention has been provided. She is perfectly okay, and she will recover over next few days. As on today, her date for appearance before ED on 8th stands as it is, for she is determined to go and appear. We will get her tested over next 3-4 days, consult the medical experts, and I certainly hope that she will be fine uh, over next 4 to 5 days, and she will recover fully.
And on to another big national story now. Well, former Congress leader Hardik Patel today formally joined the Bharatiya Janata Party in Gujarat's Gandhinagar. In a special event organized today, Hardik Patel was inducted into the BJP in the presence of Gujarat BJP chief C.R. Patil. And it may be mentioned here that Hardik Patel rose to prominence back in 2015 when he spearheaded an agitation for quotas in jobs and education for the Patidar caste. Well, 28-year-old Patel joined the Congress in 2019 in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. However, he resigned from the party on 18th of May after writing a critical resignation note to Congress interim president Sonia Gandhi. And meanwhile, Hardik Patel earlier this morning made his switch to the BJP official and through a tweet in Hindi. In the tweet, Patel announced that he is about to start a new chapter and will work as a small soldier under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And notably, Hardik's exit from the Congress is a big loss for the party ahead of the crucial Gujarat Assembly elections. Well, this big blow to the Congress has also come after setbacks in recent assembly elections in 5 states in the country.
राष्ट्रहित, प्रदेश हित, जनहित एवं समाज हित के इस भगीरथ कार्य में आगे बढ़ने के लिए आज से यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो राष्ट्र सेवा का काम चल रहा है, उसमें छोटा सा सिपाही बनकर काम करने के लिए आज से एक नए अध्याय की शुरुआत कर रहा हूं। आज तक हमने कहीं पर भी पद की लालच में किसी भी प्रकार की मांग कहीं भी नहीं रखी। हम पहले ऐसा राजनेता होंगे कि जहां से हमने जिस पार्टी को छोड़ा है वहां भी वर्क मांगते हुए हमने पार्टी छोड़ा है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जब दोपहर 12 बजे के बाद हिस्सा बनेंगे, वहां भी काम करने की परिभाषा के साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। और मुझे निश्चित रूप से ये सौभाग्य मिलेगा कि जब पूरा गांव किसी हवन में ओम के नाद से जब स्वाहा करता हो, तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें उस स्वाहा में बैठना चाहिए। और मुझे भी ये लगता है कि देश हित में जब सब लोग साथ मिलकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ या नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जुड़ रहे हैं, तो मेरा भी ये काम होना चाहिए, मेरा भी ये कर्तव्य होना चाहिए कि मुझे भी उसके साथ जुड़ जाना चाहिए।
And on to international focus now. Well, Shanghai celebrated on Wednesday with a long-awaited burst of life as the government lifted its city-wide lockdown. But the process of reopening is likely to be slow and painful as residents in the financial hub contend with the trauma of the past 2 months. As of Wednesday morning, most of the city's 25 million residents are free to leave their communities. Shops and office buildings can reopen, cars are back on the streets, and subway and buses are resuming services. As midnight approached, the atmosphere in Shanghai was one of joy and relief. Videos posted on social media show car honking, pedestrians chanting in celebration, and fences which once used to constrain residents to their compounds were pulled down from gates and streets. But to some, there is a lingering sense of bitterness, sadness, and anger after having witnessed the suffering and pain inflicted upon the city by the jealous enforcement of the government's zero COVID policy. Well, just a reminder to our viewers here, the chaotic lockdown caused widespread food shortages and delayed medical care for emergency patients. Young children were separated from their parents in quarantine. Residents, including the elderly, were forced into Spartan makeshift isolation facilities and forced to hand over their keys to have their homes disinfected. All right, that's all we have for now. Keep watching Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thanks for watching.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region.